Hey fellow travelers, Mark here with Wolters World, and today we're here in Turku, Finland, and today we're going to talk about how you can experience life like a local when you travel. Because a lot of people write us like, Mark, I don't want to be a tourist, I don't want to do the tourist thing, I want to feel like I'm part of the city, I want to feel like I'm part of the country, like I'm one of the people. Well, how do I do that? Well, the first thing you really got to do, it starts with this. Don't be afraid to say hi, especially in the local language. I mean, just knowing to say moi, which is hi, or moi moi, which is bye-bye, like here in Finland, it goes a long way. And that's how you start to live like a local, is starting to talk to the locals. Now, I'm not saying you have to be fluent in the local language, but what I'm saying is if you aren't scared to talk to people, that's going to go a longer way because the locals are going to want to share with you. I mean, it's amazing when I've gone around the world just knowing like please and thank you, Kiitos is thank you, and I want, Minä haluan iso lut, I want a big beer. They're like, oh my gosh, and they'll start to talk to you. Like, that's the first step. You've got to be willing and get out of your comfort zone to say hi to people because locals don't always come up and say hi to you. So you got to be ready to say hi, all right? Another thing that's really important to kind of live like a local and get back really determines where you travel. You got to pick a less touristy destination. If you go to Helsinki, it's a big city. It's the capital. There's tourists that come through there. There's cruise ships that come through there. They're used to tourists coming through. So they're never going to accept you as a local or talk to you like a local when there's so many tourists going through. So you can't really live like a local if you're in New York City or if you're in Orlando or Venice. You need to go to other places. That's why I love coming here to Turku, because I feel like I can talk to locals. I can go to the bar and have chats with people. I can learn about the stuff, feel like I'm a part of something. And that's why it's kind of important to really determine where you're going to go. Stay away from the tourist places. Now, I'm not going to say don't see the tourist sites, because that would be silly. You're here in these beautiful countries. I'm here in Turku. Of course, I'm going to go to the cathedral. I'm going to go to the castle and take it all in. But I also know that I got to do some non-touristy things as well. So that's why I would say, one, pick a small town. Pick small towns to go to or medium-sized cities to go to that aren't as much tourists or don't have as many tourists, because then it's more likely you have a chance to get to live like a local. Another thing you have to look at is where you're going to stay. If you're staying downtown at the downtown hotels, you're not going to be a local because you're in places where probably the locals can't afford. Go stay in one of the more residential areas. Stay out in the suburbs. Stay in parts where people live so you see where the locals go to the restaurants. Because you know what? Not everybody goes to Spago and the fancy restaurants where they live. They go to the normal mom and pop places. And that's why it's important to look where you eat. You want to live like a local? Eat where the locals eat. So when you're going by, listen when you're walking around the town. Do you hear the local language? If you do, that's probably a good place to go. And if you're going in there and you're eating the food, and ask. Remember that say hi thing comes into here. Ask them, hey, what is the local treat? What should I have when I'm here? And that can be with your concierge or your hotel or the people you're meeting on the street or the restaurants you go to. That's going to give you a chance to kind of live a little bit more local. Another thing, if you want to live local, go to the grocery store. If you want to understand other cultures, you go to the grocery store. Why? Because it explains so much. You go to Spain and you see a wall of hams, like just hams along the wall. You're like, what? You're like, yeah, because they love their ham and you have that. Oh, you're coming here to Finland. Bagged milk? What's going on here? You guys drink milk like every day? Hey, Finland and the Midwest, we have something in common. We drink milk as adults, So you have those things that helps you kind of get in touch. You start to understand the culture a bit better. Another way that can help you live like a local is take a class. And when I say take a class, it can be any kind of class. Go, if you see there's a yoga studio, see if they have a one-off yoga class you can go to. Or if you're going to go someplace, they have food tours. Go and learn about the food that's there. Take a cooking class to cook the local food that's there. Actually, though, if you want to meet the locals, don't take a local food cooking class. Like you're here in Turku, take like a Indonesian food cooking class, because that's going to be the locals that want to learn how to cook stuff that's not Finnish. That's how you can meet them. And another thing is, you have to realize that when you want to live like a local, you have to realize you're going to be a local person and there's local people like you too. So do things you do like back home, like go to the local gym if you're a gym person. If you're a comic book fan like I am, go to the local comic shop. You meet locals there, checking out comics so you can have that conversation so they can bring you in. Because honestly, it's hard to live like a local because locals are just like you and me. They're trying to pay the bills. They're trying to make sure their kids are happy. They're trying to, deal with their bosses back at work. We're all the same. And if you want to live like the locals, go where the locals go. It's going to make it a much more enjoyable cultural experience when you're here. And honestly, if you have the chance, go take like a week-long intensive class. like in the language. Like if you're going to go to Italy, I went to Vicenza, took a week-long intensive Italian class. So every morning from 9 until 1, I learned Italian, and then I went and experimented out in the city and got to meet the locals. Here in Finland, I took Finnish classes, so I got to learn my Finnish and then go out and meet the locals. I mean, there's things you can do to live more like a local to really enjoy that, okay? So I want you to kind of give those ideas. Think about these things, about where you're going to stay, how you're going to eat, what you're going to do, and really plan for that. But don't be afraid to be a tourist as well, because it's okay. Because even locals, they're tourists sometimes too in their home cities. So what are your tips on being more living like a local when you travel and not being so much of a tourist? Let us know in the comments below to help out other travelers.